yeah. No, I'm not no hero, I get tired of my heat, yeah. Shit, I'm just gliding on this beat, yeah. When it comes to me, yeah, I bring fire to the beat. Yeah, who got Cali? Smoking. Who got Cali? Smoking Zaza, blow the smoke up.
What's good, YouTube? Y'all already know what time it is, man. We back again with another one of one reaction, bro. You got your boy.
Been robbing, say robbing, always gonna be robbing. When you see me, just know I'm probably robbing.
Yes, sir. Y'all already know. Himithy, the true Bando, Mr. One of One. And we here with another one, bro. Vice video, feel me? Kid ran a nightclub, Ponzi scheming 19, and he was violating niggas. And now he old chicken, and yeah, bro. We about to see what he was like. Now I mean these little smart motherfuckers. No, running weird pyramid schemes and shit like that. I don't know, son. Like, I don't get how the fuck he was taking niggas' bread, but we about to see, like, how you think he was doing it before we go into it, like a Ponzi scheme. You know what that is? Like,
yeah, he's basically finessing niggas. Finessing the finesses, probably.
Finessing the finesses. So, if you're about to get into it, bro, watch it be some little nerdy. I already know how it's gonna be.
I owe money to like drug dealers, to mobsters. I'm about $1.4 million.
Mark Zuckerberg? Niggas is crazy.
Do be these niggas, bro.
Yo, what the fuck?
These, Wall Street looking over.
The Wall Street looking niggas? Right, so.
They the worst scammers, right? Niggas go out the black niggas.
Yeah, son, got the nigga punching pieces and getting dominoes with these
how the
niggas.
fuck is he still even
Like on a Vice episode, like how the fuck?
Let my black ass only gonna show my face
came time to pay, I didn't have
or what I've done in the past.
Yo, bro, what the fuck? Yo, look at this kid. Like, how the fuck you like?
The money, I was just telling a lot of lies, and that's when the threats start coming in. At the height of it all,
He's a rat.
Niggas would hang yo, like, is he playing? We just stealing niggas' money. Stop playing.
He gotta be a rat.
his ego is so
Yeah, Ian, right, exactly. Like fucking.
I got this
Fucking Napoleon Dynamite. You fucking McLovin. Fuck this kid.
smarter than
Yo, bro.
Is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy?
snowball effect of selling out on scheme parties, making anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 in profit a night.
Here we have
McLovin.
Ian Vick buying jet skis with investor money.
I go from a legitimate business to I'm stepping into an entirely different realm where I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's pretty clear that there's fraudulent behavior and crimes being committed.
Prosecutors accused the team of running a nearly $500,000 Ponzi scheme.
I was convicted of defrauding investors of almost $500,000. Ian Vick, I was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, accused by the FBI of running a Ponzi scheme. I was also a kid that was always bullied, so when I set off to do all these adventures and parties, planning this whole event business, it was definitely to put myself forward, to be liked, to chase popularity.
Like fucking nerd. He definitely probably fucked mad bitches that like the fucking bitches in high school and shit like that he couldn't fuck before. So he started getting money, started hitting them up like, what's good now, bitch? You trying to fuck me, right? Nigga cool now, yeah.
To create this new image for myself that I was like this young entrepreneur.
VIP access, bitches.
The most I ever made in a night was about $20,000 or $30,000 in profit, and the most I ever lost in a night was $110,000.
I'm Steve O'Connor, and I've been friends with Ian Vick for around 2 decades. At the very beginning, I was actually really impressed. I invested in him too, and I would get more money back than I could put in. So at the beginning, I thought he was pretty successful. I wasn't putting in huge amounts of money like some other people were. I mean, some people were putting in astronomical amounts of money.
I was like this high school kid, 16 at the time, that wanted to do a new dance, and it was for a good cause. The dance was a huge success. It's about 250 people, $20 a ticket. We raised about $2,500. I realized I can make some serious money off.
That's what we started off like good ideas.
Look at Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I don't know if they started off. They probably started off like black niggas. They started off we can do this.
Yo, cheers.
So if I got 250 people to pay $20 a ticket, can I scale that? Can I make that bigger? How can I turn that into a money-making venture?
You can make a lot of money off of kids paying per ticket.
For the
And then they go on kids.
Next thing I know, I'm at the doorsteps of Tuxedo Junction, which was a local club at the time in Danbury. I rent the front room and I pack it out. And then after that, it's just a snowball effect of selling out shows at Tuxedos, these teen parties, making anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 in profit a night.
On the outside, Ian always looked like a successful, confident person. But I think one of the fuels that drove him was that he never actually felt that way. So he was always striving to get a little bit further. He had too much confidence. And he did a great job at convincing people to give him money.
I'm here, I'm working on the venue.
That's the show, right?
Yeah, it's talent.
Convincing niggas to give you their bread.
That's the talent.
That's the whole P fucking stuff.
Finding investors, whatever.
I raised $100,000. It came from family. It came from parents of
You probably talk different to niggas. Like,
friends, acquaintances of those friends. And it was a bunch of high school kids that knew nothing about money. I take the $100,000. It was supposed to be for a Wiz Khalifa show. Our business partner at the time, he had said he could book Wiz Khalifa, so we raised the money, and it turns out he couldn't book Wiz Khalifa. So we were sitting on $120,000. We're 17 years old, and we go to our investors and we say, hey guys, we couldn't get them, but we have a plan to break the money up into 4 or 5 smaller shows. If you want to stay on board, great. If not, we'll give you your money back. And half pulled out, half stayed in. We put the money into the shows, and this is the start of all my problems, because on the first show, one of the guys that was partners on the shows with us comes up to me at the end of the night. He's like, dude, the show tanked. We lost like $80,000. At that point, I had already told my close, these are my best friends, we made money. They're at the show, it looks packed, so I made the decision to cover it up. The end of 2012 is when I do my last teen night at Tuxedos. By the spring of 2013, I was about $50,000 in debt to investors. And we take on another initial round of investors to start doing a whole fall string of shows in the fall of 2013. The whole time it was just money in, money out on a bank account. No accounting whatsoever, just a couple kids on this, Wells Fargo bank account with access to hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm 18, my business partners are all 18. We're looking at...
Dude, I had the iPhone first.
Not 18, but hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay, we need to get some paychecks out of this too. We figured if we're running the company, we're putting money into these concerts for the fall. I was naive enough to think, okay, these concerts are gonna make a ton of money in the fall, so why not spend some of those profits now? We blow money on Gucci clothes. I'd never worn a Gucci outfit. We took trips to California when I want some.
It was still a bad fit. Like, this nigga's so...
I don't know.
Yo, bro. Nah, time out, son. I'm on your ass now, nigga. It's over, son.
That wasn't good Gucci.
Nah, I think that's Gucci, nigga. That's a bad fit. Don't be saying that. Look,
Victor was watching on.
Victus? Fucking all yo, Tissauce. The fucking NBA watches. Yo, bro, nah,
Took a trip to California. When I want something, I'm gonna go after it. Hey, get me some guys. That just blew like $100,000 between strip clubs. We were like celebrities.
Ian's whole lifestyle was all about being flashy, as if he was rich, because that's how he wanted to be. He shouldn't have tried living that lifestyle, because actually...
This nigga tried to be the first Logan Paul. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
All you had to do was keep building. You had to build your life thus far. All you had to do was keep building.
You fucking idiot. Like, what the fuck?
I'm booking all these acts. I'm living this lifestyle. But the shows all
fucking Mr. Beast, nigga.
all bomb. Every show loses money.
Artists they wouldn't show up, or they would trash their hotels and cause thousands of dollars in damages. Certain things were miscalculated, and that's when you started getting in serious trouble.
Show dates are crazy. You never know what's going to happen. You could be getting hit up for someone for money. You get chased by someone.
You couldn't catch up to it. If one failed, okay, there was 5 more that could pay it back. But when they all failed, that was just a deeper and deeper hole.
If someone gave you $1 million today, what would you do? I'd definitely dump it all into this place. I've had the opportunity of people giving me a lot of money like that before, and I lost it by investing in other people. So now I want to, if I got money, invest it into myself.
I had gotten the idea to reopen Tuxedo Junction.
What's up, Danbury? It's Blau. I cannot wait for a show at Tuxedo Junction this weekend. It's going to be absolutely crazy.
I will be at Tuxedo Junction. Y'all come out and fuck with the gang. 21.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And I don't know if you can.
I'm booking these national acts, the Chainsmokers, Zed's Dead, Kidding. The biggest acts in like EDM and hip hop are coming to Danbury, Connecticut. So Tuxedos is making money, but I have so much bad debt behind me, I could never get ahead. So say if I made $20,000 on a show, that show money should have been used to pay for the next show or to pay the rent of the place, but instead it's going to my bad debt. So I then have to take even more money to cover that show money. And so at that point, I had no more investors to get money from. So I started to go through shady people through the club business. It was like money laundering, basically. It was cash, and I needed cash. They wanted high rates of return, and I took the money and used it to pay off debts or kind of just inject some cash into my business.
When things started sliding downhill, the city of Danbury was actually picking on him a lot. They were sending officers to his parties when after he lost his liquor permit. They were pulling the whole bar apart, trying to find liquor. They were cutting locks. They were sending undercover cops in there trying to, I guess, arrest him on the spot. And you could really tell he was on thin ice. Eventually they got him.
And do you want to say? Not at the moment.
Right before he even went to jail, I think he was about $500,000 in debt. With interest and everything else, it was more than that. He owed a lot of money. Cops showed up at his house and arrested him on the spot.
4:35 a.m. hits, and they're just like this pounding at the door. Our whole street is lined up with like FBI cars and local police cars. They're banging on the door, and my mom's running downstairs, and she opens the door, and they're just like, step aside, step aside. Where is he?
Vic, who is just 19 years old, is now facing federal charges.
They kicked this door down, had tight whiteys on. He's fucking like 18 years old. Yeah, bro, fuck out of here. Like, this nigga like.
Pled not guilty to the charges. I didn't think that I had set out with that intent to defraud anyone.
Prosecutors say Vic solicited investment funds from his friends, former classmates, acquaintances, and their parents by promising high investment returns over relatively short periods of time.
When I was in court, the whole thing seemed really surreal. I see Ian in a
Yo, it's this nigga.
with, two federal officers standing next to him.
That's your man?
They say the team convinced more than 15 people to invest nearly $500,000.
At 21 years old, I was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison.
When Ian immediately got out of jail, he had big plans. It almost sounded like he wanted to get back into what got him into trouble. But then as time went on, he finally realized, you know what, maybe it's time to just cut this all to an end. Still paying back his restitution fund, by the way. He's got a lot more to go.
I think it's definitely very attention grabbing when people say like a teenager who ran a Ponzi scheme. To me, I look at it as I think it's just, a story about a bunch of kids who made, a high amount of really fucked up decisions, a ton of mistakes. They were very, young.
I've had times where you make a bunch of money in the night and you feel like you're on top of the world, but then a week later you get knocked down and you don't know how to come up from that.
I think had I made those mistakes now, like as an older person, or even if I was older, like a 30-year-old, I think it would be looked at differently, and I couldn't sit here and say, I was young and I didn't know.
I've been at some of my highest points, and I've been at some of the lowest points.
I definitely take full responsibility for everything. It falls on me. I was the one that took those risks. I just think that it could be characterized in a different way.
I ain't gonna lie, he got raped in jail.
I don't know.
In jail, yeah, for sure.
I just know.
No, I've never really experienced true success yet.
And look at his.
Someone rattle on him?
Probably. Like, I didn't know that he allegedly,
I wonder if white niggas rattling each other. They rattling each other, right?
Of course, like these billion-dollar companies that be doing Ponzi schemes, and when they get caught by the feds, what you think? Start pointing fingers.
Yeah, the white people be rattling each other.
Over billions of dollars.
Yeah, GG's. Yeah, he's
That happens all the time.
Yeah, GG's. Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yo, bro. Oh man, this fucking like you seen him, son? Like
he was not playing.
Little genius motherfucker. Know how to talk nice to niggas. 500, yeah. Feel me? Like, ooh. 20, what was that, 2012? 20?
I ain't gonna lie, 500 cost him 3 years of life.
3 years of his life. Right there. Is it worth it? Nope, because he's still owed. So it's not like he coming home to that bag. So was it even worth it? But, I ain't gonna lie, you don't gotta sell like him. That shit is lit. Like,
you don't have to sell.
Yeah, he sold. That shit is what he was doing was lit. That he sold. Like,
he was doing super.
Yeah, bro. He ain't know how to fucking, he ain't know how to like control the money. Yeah, he ain't like, he got too happy, he got too hype. He started buying the Gucci, the bad Gucci and shit. Like,
bad Gucci drip.
The bad Gucci.
That shit was bad drip.
Yeah, son, ain't no fucking way. But yeah, son, like,
right.
Yeah, man. But I already know, man. One of my reactions, feel me? Got your boy.
Been robbing, man.
Feel me? That's what Tariq St. Patrick wanted to do with Ghost Club. What was that shit called? Truth.
Right.
Look, that shit was about to be false. That shit was about to be crazy.
His shit was false.
Yeah,
Ghost shit ain't true.
His shit was false. Ghost shit is the truth, nigga. That shit the truth. But what, feel me? Mr. 1 Himithy the True Bando, man. We out, bro. Until the next one. Yes. I'm crying. Nigga trying to be Tariq St. Patrick and shit. Like, stupid.